So today I'm talking about what I actually predicted for the 2022 market, and I'm going to be reviewing my predictions and comparing this to reality in terms of what actually took place in the Toronto market in 2022. But first, show reel, hit it. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also the notification button. It only takes 1 second and it really helps with my YouTube algorithm. So without further ado, let's get started. Today I'm here to talk to you about what my predictions were for the 2022 market and what actually happened in reality. So since the pandemic in Toronto, the market has actually experienced a lot of changes. And a lot of changes have happened in the buyer demand side of things. This has been caused by economic factors and lifestyle changes, such as immigration, changes in government policies, and various changes we've seen in the labor market, to name just a few. And many Torontonians have actually recently turned to the rental market because of the affordability issue. And one of the main key factors affecting this whole process in Toronto is actually the rising interest rates as we know them, and the lack of housing inventory as we've seen over the last several months. And over the course of 2022, we have actually seen a significant decline in real estate sales over this entire year. In addition to this, we saw an average increase in year-over-year sales prices until September, where the average year-over-year sales prices started to decrease. Now, this is partly a reflection of what was happening in the real estate market in 2021, but we're not going to go into that because this is definitely beyond the scope of this episode. Starkest increase we saw in January at 28.6%. Year over year. Price increase came down substantially to a modest 0.9% increase year over year in August. While the last few months we've actually seen a reversal where prices have actually decreased year over year. If you remember from some of my past videos, I talked about how the market actually peaked and was at a historic high for average sales prices back in February at 1.3 million. And over the course of several months to follow, the average prices on a month-to-month basis actually decreased from that month alone to just over $1 million. So in July, for instance, we saw prices at $1,074,754. But since then, we've seen a very slight increase with average prices still sitting at less than 1.1 million. So in terms of my predictions for 2022, I didn't do too badly. In fact, I did pretty well. I may not have gotten my numbers exactly right, but I didn't do such a bad job. So first, I predicted that we wouldn't actually see a market crash or the bubble bursting in terms of the real estate market. And that was absolutely true, as the market has been stabilizing in recent months. In fact, I was correct in my prediction that there'd be a drop in sales. My prediction was actually 5 to 7%. And that was a bit conservative because, as I mentioned before, the sales activity wavered quite a bit throughout the year, between a low of 16% in February to around 50% towards the latter part of the year. My prediction number 3 was that I expected to see an increase of 10 to 12% in home prices over the course of the year, as we saw more dramatic increases year over year from January to April, with a shift to below 10% in May. And as I mentioned in recent months, sales prices have actually decreased year over year. And this was what we have seen more recently. And I also predicted that some buyers would be leaving the buying pool. And that's exactly what has happened. In fact, I made a bold prediction that we'd actually see condo prices increase. Now, my prediction was a little bit off. I did predict between 13 to 15%, and we've seen slightly different results, with the price actually increasing by about 22.5% in the first quarter and about 12% in the second quarter. And then by about 4.5 in the third quarter of 2022. So I was slightly off on that, but still in the right direction. Although I didn't actually put out a prediction in terms of sales volume for the condo market, just so you know, there's been a decrease of 15.6% in the first quarter, 35% in the second quarter, and 16% of sales volume in the third quarter. So all of these were year-over-year statistics. So back in 2022, I also thought that we'd see record numbers of first-time home buyers in the market, and as well those transitioning between condos to homes, as well as downsizers. We didn't actually see a particular type of audience stand out in the market this year, because in terms of sellers, we were seeing those that actually had to sell because it wasn't really a seller's market for most of the year. At the very beginning of the year, we were actually seeing downsizers because the market was so good between January and March. In fact, many first-time home buyers throughout the year were taking advantage of the more reasonable buying opportunities in the condo market. We also saw sellers enter the market when they needed to sell throughout the year, but primarily we saw more of a push at the beginning of the year when the market was hot. Some buyers re-entered the market with a view that the values were stabilizing or decreasing from earlier on in the year. So there you have it. That's my overview and my reflection of 2022 and my predictions, bold and some not so bold, for 2022. So I hope you found this information helpful. And if you are thinking of getting into the market and moving to Toronto or anywhere in Canada or worldwide, don't forget to reach out to us on your favorite social media platform. We've always got your back and we've always got you covered. Until next time, this is Pamela Haines from Homes by Pam, helping you with your real estate matters.